So, good morning or good night, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by Andrew Gravy. He's the bass player for the band Wretched. And they're about to release their newest album, October the 17th, I believe, with
Yeah,
Metal Blade Records. And it's called Decay. And it's a prequel to an album. So we're here all to talk about it. So Andrew, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Hector. Thanks for meeting with me today. Yeah, it was kind of crazy night because I was just gonna be laying low, and then next thing I know, I got invited to a wedding, so I was just scurrying around, just trying to get some clothes for it. I recently moved from New York, Brooklyn, New York to Chicago, so I just got rid of like all my clothes, and I
Oh,
realized I didn't have anything, so I was like, oh crap.
so you got invited to a wedding from one day to the next?
Yeah, it was actually like I was invited before we were going to go on tour, and our tour got canceled just like a couple days ago. And
Oh yeah, okay. I saw
yeah,
that you were going on tour.
such a
Was it
bummer.
Six
Yeah,
Feet Under
yeah,
inside?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Classic Chris Barnes move right there. But yeah, we got our tour got canceled like last minute. So anyways, I hit up my friend and yeah, I'm going to the wedding. But then I realized I didn't have any clothes for it, so I had to do all that.
yeah. Do you have a gift?
The person that invited me, because I'm just the guest, I believe they have one, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Ju-
I wish you
Just
didn't even tell me
say,
that.
just
Yeah,
say that your presence enough is there, or you
yeah.
can
Or
have
I left.
you could have Wretched play.
Yeah. I'm sure the guests would love that.
Here's a little song called Decay. Go
Yeah.
go
Nice,
out
nice,
while
nice
people will be
first
like,
dance.
yeah,
Yeah,
people will be like, what the hell?
yeah.
So yeah, so obviously it sucks. Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't have the question about shows because I'm like, oh, you had some shows, but I saw the headline, and I've also talked with Richie from Inside. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks. It sounded like it was their
Total bummer.
yeah. Plus, you
Yeah.
guys now I'm sure it's this is a financial loss for the
Oh,
bands
yeah.
that when
Totally.
something
We have to order merch for all of this. We did order it. You already know there's just so many expenses that go into that. I think about like all the fans that were going to go that bought tickets. Like that's the thing I first think about. So like I was just so bummed. We're all so bummed too because we wanted to do it so bad. We had a single release today and we're like we should be playing shows right now, but we do have some in the works. We have the two tours coming up, one at the end of January and one in February, but I don't think I can announce it just yet. I don't think it's been announced. But
let's
there
not
will
jinx
be,
it.
what's that?
Let's not jinx it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll get some shows and we're trying to do something special. Probably like some holiday free shows or something. We're just talking about some stuff right now because it's all fresh, this tour cancellation. So there'll be some shows coming up. I'm not sure exactly right now.
Yeah, and you right as we're speaking today, you released a new single, a new video for the song. I wrote it down for Radiance.
Oh, Radiance. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
that one's good. I'm stoked on it. I was really impressed with the first response we got on our first single, for Decay, the self-titled. And yeah, I was just talking with my friend just like right before this call, and we were saying how like yeah, all the press so far has just been great, and like the response from the two singles have been awesome, and I definitely look at all that stuff and like if it's ever negative, it's always kind of funny to me. You always take it with salt, but like I definitely was like impressed. I was just like, wow, like I'm not even seeing any negative stuff right now. So that's always good, knock on wood. But yeah, we released a more vibed out one for the first single, so we thought we'd go like pretty like fast pace and finish with some vibes on the second one.
Yeah. So when did you guys decide that you wanted to do a prequel to 2010s to the 2010 album?
That was Billy's idea, our singer, and he So to give you a little backstory, Billy was on our first two albums, and in 2010, I joined the band with Adam Cody from Glass Casket, and Billy stepped aside just with life, and so the second and third album, Son of Perdition, Cannibal, I'm on with Adam. And so this album is Billy's first album back, and he's picking up from where he left off. Adam's more of like a personal, vulnerable kind of lyricist. And Billy is like all about the stories. And actually, as I've gotten to become really good friends with Billy, like I've realized he's an incredible writer. I'm blown away. And it's funny because they both have their styles. But yeah, to answer your question, that was all Billy. And I was so impressed too with him because with Adam, he's like one of the best vocalists I've ever used, but performed with and wrote with. But he's kind of, a lot of times vocalists aren't, if they're not a musician, it's hard to find those rhythms when you're coaching them. But Billy just comes in and he has such an ear for what the listener wants to hear, like where the pauses are, where the phrasing goes. So from the storyline to his vocals, I was just so impressed. And yeah, and then once we got touring again, like with Billy there, like it was just again, I was just like so impressed because there's all these years where he wasn't there with us, and he came and fit right in. And yeah, we just gelled so hard when we were writing this album. So I was impressed. And what's really funny to me is like for the last 10 years, all these kids at the shows have been asking us about his storylines and his like theatrical, sci-fi stuff or whatever. So he'll get offended by what the words I'm using for describing it. But all these kids would be asking about it. I'd be like, man, I don't know. Like it's you gotta ask Billy. But now I'm like reading them and I'm getting involved in it and I'm like I'm loving it. So yeah, that was all Billy.
Yeah, because there's characters and stuff.
Totally.
In,
Totally. And
in,
that's how you get a good story. And you can get like artwork for it. We can do books for it. Yeah.
yeah, so it's a good way to go back to that sound that you guys had with a prequel. So tell us about the the recording process for you guys for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, so we all live in different states. Marshall lives in North Carolina with Steven in North Carolina. Billy's in Atlanta. I was in Brooklyn during the recording. Now I'm in Chicago. But we start with a skeleton by sending ideas back and forth. It usually starts with Steven and Marshall. That's how this one started. And we'll get the skeleton, as in like some demos. And for me on bass, I try to do a lot of listening to the riffs and ideas that are sent my way, but I don't do too much playing until I've given it so much of a listen that I stop thinking about the bass and I'm thinking about the other instruments now. And where you just have it memorized. And that's kind of how I went in. It's how I do almost all my albums. It's almost like a procrastinator thing. Like I listen, and then once we get into the studios where I really write it. So we all had this basic outline, like very watered down, but a lot of ideas. And it was just the four of us in a house in on the beach in South Carolina, and it was amazing. Like we were in this little shack and no one else there, not a videographer, not like any of our management or press or like, I mean, not press, our buddies that like always help us out. And it was just us four. And so we go in and we just did it piece by piece, like whoever was ready that day or that hour. And like halfway through, we took like a bunch of shrooms and took like a little break and like vibed out even more. But oh my God, it just felt like we accomplished something just like a total special thing because it was only us four. We did it all ourselves. We produced it ourselves. Marshall engineered the whole thing. And yeah, and so once we were there, we just kind of one person lays down the track, you get some better ideas, and the next person, maybe tweaks their ideas, and it just kind of came out. We did it in 2 weeks, the recording part of it.
Yeah, so you guys took it back to DIY. You did it yourself. You stayed in a
Totally.
place and you got the vibes for it. So
Yeah.
how would you say, like, as a band, Wretched has evolved like musically, like how would you say the
Um,
evolution of the band has been? Because this album, even though there's a lot of like metallic stuff, there's like some progressive elements too, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I think, the earlier stuff, we were trying to prove ourselves and we love shredding and we're all music nerds. So we were just doing everything that we could fit in there and, try and be as creative. But what we learned is what's harder to do is move away from the technical side and try and write melodies and structures and really try and get some orchestration stuff and the value in the note and the space between the notes. And so now I think we're less of like, we don't really need to prove ourselves or, to anyone or anything. And now we're just trying to write music and we're all a bunch of nerds of like all different styles. So I really think what changed is we're going in and we're not thinking, let's write a tech metal album. We're actually just writing and I think the way it progressed is just that one, we're never going to do the same thing twice. And I always get annoyed, or I always find it funny when people are like, man, they've changed, like, screw that band. But I'm like, dude, I don't want to listen to the same album like back to back to back. I'll get bored with it. It's like I can't listen to the same band that sounds exactly like another band. So
Hmm.
but we don't try to do that, just naturally progresses. And one cool thing with Wretched that I love, and it's like one of the first things I noticed when I joined the band, is there's this Wretched family, and it's this big group of us. So like everyone who's played in the band before, where they're like still friends with us, and we still like they pop into the studio, they write with us, they like John came actually no one came in the studio this last one, but John, we consulted with him a couple times on like some scales and stuff. Like I heard Steven hit him about some notes. And Joel, like he was with us for the last 10 years. He wrote a lot of riffs on the album, but he's not, part of it. He wasn't there in the final tracking. But yeah, Billy was around when Adam was singing. He would come out and on stage. So it's just this cool fraternity of musicians that we got. And yeah, and so like, even though sometimes there's a member that circles, it's like someone who we've been chilling with this whole period of Wretched.
So it's kind of cool that way because even though someone's no longer in the band, it's like they're still like a part of you.
Totally and supportive and yeah, it's a family. It feels exactly like a family.
Okay, so I want to show the artwork for the new album Decay,
Yeah.
which is out on Metal Blade Records. Obviously, I haven't mentioned that yet, so people to know it's out on Metal Blade Records. So
Hell yeah.
here's the artwork. It's like tell me a little bit about the artwork.
So Travis Smith did it. He's done a lot of metal bands. All you have to do is just Google it. But yeah, he did some stuff with the Legion, and we went for we the I think the main thing was we just didn't want to write or we didn't want it to look like a generic metal cover. They all look so similar now, and we're like, all right, well, let's try and do something separate. And so we're working with Billy's storyline. We were kind of discussing a lot of stuff. And then it kind of got a little frustrating because we were going to do photos first and have like a photograph album cover. And then we would send it in to Travis and we'd be like, hey, can you like tweak this up and make it crazy? And it was like a game of phone tag. We kept like, he would tweak it one way and then we would be like, no, let's do this. And then eventually like it's hilarious because now we just have a bunch of stones, but I love it because it's actually mixed media in there. There's a lot of stuff going on and you just have to like look deep in there, but there's like I think the whole thing makes like a creepy little face, and there's like a little Washington Monument looking thing in there and like all these other stuff. But he's a really good dude, and it's funny because I was talking to Greg from Allegiant just like a few weeks ago just about the whole process. And he was like, yeah, that's Travis, but it'll be sick in the end and it'll be perfect. And yeah, he was right. It is.
Yeah, no, it's a different album looking album cover for you guys. So
Yeah, I didn't want it to like draw the listener to a specific theme. I didn't want it to like be like I kind of want to just be a conversation piece. Like it doesn't have to be anything like focal point. And so yeah, it's just kind of it sets the mood. And yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, you took 2 weeks. You worked on this. So I'm guessing that when you guys started, like, was the story already fleshed out when
Yeah,
you guys started?
Billy, like I ask him these questions too, and like he had the storyline pretty much all fleshed out, and he's very adamant too on his stories. So like he'll just geek out so hard on it. And yeah, he basically has like deep character development and a whole pattern for it. So he was saying how when Beyond the Gate came out, he had all of this storyline that he wanted to actually put in it, but it got stripped down because they only had a certain amount of tracks. So this is literally carrying on from his storyline that he just didn't get to finish, and he didn't. Some of it was stuff he didn't get to squeeze into Beyond the Gate, and a lot of it was pretty cool that he was hoping to do. But yeah, so it was pretty much hashed out, and for me, like I write and I focus on my riffs and the vocals. I hadn't really ever given vocals too much thought until maybe the last 8 years of my life. And once I started trying to be a vocalist and sing and stuff, and I started thinking about it, and lyrics are hard. So like I started looking at Billy's lyrics, and yeah, like they're just freaking awesome. And I've been picking his brain so much about all the stuff. I think the thing that was the coolest though was taking the storyline that he's had and the way that he implemented it into the music, and the way that he, you know, was able to just the phrasing, like it was all like one take every time. So
Yeah,
he
and
was ready.
obviously he wants to make a good prequel, because sometimes when I hear the word prequel, I'm scared, but that's just because of Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, ruined it for all of us.
They ruin
Yeah.
prequel for everyone.
Totally. If anyone thinks that Jar Jar Binks is their favorite character, then I know they're a psychopath. Like either that or they're just abstractly cool. But yeah,
No,
no,
I've
it's
never met
the
anyone who thought that Jar Jar Binks was their favorite character.
fuck no, hell no.
If
Yeah,
I met that someone, I would be like, no, no, you need help.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you being the bass player, like when you're laying down your bass parts, like what exactly do you want to get out of the bass for the sound of Wretched?
Oh man, rhythm and um I wanted to be so in the pocket. So like the last actually every metal album I've done, it's a lot of technical stuff. This time around, I wanted to record it like a freaking Motown album or like a soul album. And when I need to play hard, I'll play as hard as I can, but I wanted to also have dynamics in there. Like a lot of bass players don't think about it. Like if they're pick players or finger players, like metal, they're just playing as hard as they can. Why don't guitar players do that? They have dynamics. They're not just going to go 0 to 60 on every riff. So that was one big thing. And the one thing I've always stressed on bass is like the silence, the like what I was saying earlier, and the space between the notes. There's so much freaking power there. And in today's world, not just metal, but like all music right now, there's like such a lack of bass lines. Like if you listen to pop music, it's usually like a synth riff that does what a bass would do, but it's kind of following the melody. 90% of metal bands is a guitar player playing bass. Um, and that's where you stop hearing the like spaces, the separate instrument. And so I've always been that way, but this album in particular, I was like, let's get so fucking in the pocket to Marshall, like our drummer. And so I recorded my bass, then Marshall recorded his drum tracks, and then I went through and I re-recorded the bass because I was like, dude, this has to be like so in the pocket, and like it has to be like one unit in the rhythm section. And I was thinking about like the Eagles and the Beatles and like all these non-metal bands and Marvin Gaye, a lot of that. Like I was listening to him the whole time. And I think it comes through. Like you can actually hear the bass, it's its own instrument, and it's not just shredding like I always do. And it has the tapping and the slapping and all the technical stuff in there, but it has a lot of real estate in all the notes. And that was a theme that we were all talking about too during the album. We're like, what's the value in all of these notes? Like if you're gonna put it in there, think about it. Like we're not just gonna just put a note in there. So I went back and I like pick Steven's brain on like certain fills, like what scale are you using, what mode is this, and trying to see something a little bit different than what I would have done before.
So yeah, so you put a lot of thought into it. So
A
the
lot.
bass, yeah, because sometimes, yeah, the bass gets forgotten sometimes. So you growing
Totally.
up and getting into rock, metal, everything, like which basses were you inspired by?
So Les Claypool from Primus, he was big one. I can pretty much do his entire catalog, and that's the thing that got me into like tech bass playing. Um,
I just saw part of Les Claypool's interview on
oh yeah.
with Rick. Yeah, he had an interview with Rick Beato.
No, no way. I gotta check that out. I did see
Yeah,
some footage of him. What were you saying?
he, no, Les Claypool was doing an interview with Rick Beato, and there's a part in the interview where he talks about when he in the 80s like went and auditioned for Metallica.
Yeah, yeah, I've read that too, and they were like, "He's too good. He's too good."
Yeah,
And
he's like he's too good. He's got his
dude,
own.
when I was a kid, I was like, dude, fuck Metallica. They like passed up on Les Claypool. But now I totally get it. Like I'm like, oh yeah, he would have just been shredding way too hard over that. But yeah, he was a big one. And I actually have like a lot of like non-metal bass players that I love. Victor Wooten was like when I was younger, if you know Victor Wooten, he's just a prodigy jazz funk bass
Mhm.
player. Um, there was a classic Flea because he was just the dude who like every bass player talked about when I started learning. I started learning when I was like in, I don't know the age, but fourth grade. And uh and then Rage Against Machines bass player, he's a beast. And yeah, there's a lot, but Stanley Clark, Jaco Pastorius,
Oh yeah,
those are
I saw
probably two
his
of my
documentary.
favorites.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I so yeah, I'm not like a a nerd where I like when I was growing up like obsessed over like different bass players or like styles. I just loved it all. Like I was just trying to play and like look sick. I was really into new metal growing up, so I was like into Limp Bizkit and like all
Oh
these.
well, if like when I think of like new metal bases, Mudvayne.
Oh my God, I was literally about to say Ryan. I was about to say him, dude. I'm so mad I didn't say that. But yeah, Ryan from Mudvayne. I was just
Yeah,
like, is
that
that too
dude.
like
I saw
obscure to mention?
Mudvayne live, and that dude, the
Yeah.
bass player for Mudvayne, is sick. Yeah.
He's so sick. I played Warwick's, the bass guitar Warwick for freaking like all of high school and college because of him. He had a Warwick and yeah, I had that growly tone. And I met him like on their first tour ever, like after the album came out, this small little tour, and they played at Jack's in Virginia. And me, my brother, and one of my friends were like so the album just came out, like, and we were like, are they gonna wear the makeup? And they wore it, and there was like 15 people there. And Ryan sat down with us before they played for like seriously like 30 minutes just chatting with a bunch of 13, 14-year olds. And I thought it was cool as shit. And now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, that's cool as fucking shit. And here he is still going, and he's such a beast.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like you were very inspired by like different types of bass players. So this album's gonna have a lot of variants, and I have the picture with all the variants that you have. So people can complain that they can't find the one they like.
Yeah.
So I think this is a picture of the bundle. So they can get
Yeah. Yeah.
either this shirt, and you have like four different
Y-
CDs. Like I don't know. I think they all look kind of sick. Like, which one would you get?
Dude, I was getting so excited about these. I like the marbly looking one, and there's two European ones that are tough to get. I think it's the blue one and the blacked out white one. Those two are so cool. But yeah, I want to get my hands on those two Euro ones so bad. I think that my favorite one though is the dark blue and the red one. And yeah, we were looking back and forth through a bunch of different ones. And the shirt's sick too, because there's only a few shirts a year that we're gonna do that are like special edition Metal Blade ones, and that's one of them. So or two shirts a record that will be like limited ones. So that's part of our package, and anyone who I'll see wearing that, they gotta at this package.
Yeah, and people should get it since you guys had to cancel the tour that you're going
Oh, totally. Yeah.
in. Buy
Please.
them so
Yeah.
they can go onto the next tour. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and we'll
I'm
be
guessing
posting
for
too on our social media a lot of the
yeah
merch we just printed too. Like there's some real sick stuff that we have, and they'll be on the tours coming up too.
yeah. So yeah, so it seems like it's gonna be out soon, and you guys have some more shows maybe in
In
the
the
new year
works, definitely.
in the
Yep.
work. So people, Wretched will be coming. Just you'll have to wait a
Yeah,
little.
we're elusive and exclusive. So yeah, it's only cool people wait to see us. So you gotta wait and then we'll be there. But you just gotta earn it and wait long.
Yeah. So Andrew, before I let you go tonight, anything you like to say to the fans before we go?
I just want to say the fans are, it sounds cliche, but the fans are everything. It's like the most important part of us and the reason we do it. So I think just the best way to support us at the moment, especially with the tour canceling, is stream these songs, stream it as much as you can, tell your friends about it. But just know that we're working really hard to get another tour in the works as soon as possible. We're working with Metal Blade, we're working with our agent, and we'll be out soon. But really, to all the fans, like thank you for supporting us and thank you for sticking around through all these years that we hadn't been out playing, and these shows that we've been doing. It's just so it's so heartwarming, and it really is like, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's like it's it's just so special that that you're all just staying here with us. We were like, what the heck? They're still here, kind of thing. So it's all about the fans, and this is for the fans, and this album is for the fans. So just thank you. That's all I want to say.
Awesome. So Andrew, again, thank you some time to chatting with me, and hopefully you'll have fun at your wedding this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Hector. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
not
Yeah,
your
I will. Oh,
wedding,
I will.
the
Yeah,
wedding
yeah.
you're going to.
The wedding I'm going to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah. No, I will. I will.
maybe you can like, hey, you could be like, I can play a little bit of Wretched for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Keaton. Oh, where are you located?
I'm in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so you're in Puerto Rico. Oh, okay. So I will reach out. We will be there, and I think me and my roommate we're talking about going there soon too. But we will play there one day. We'll be there soon. But
Yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
there's promoters here. We got like a
Yeah,
metal
you have a
scene.
great scene, I've heard.
Yeah, great thing. I know some of the people in some of the local bands here. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool. All right,
yeah,
I will be in touch.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
just in
Andrew,
terms of visiting. Yeah,
yeah.
thank
So
you so
Andrew,
much.
it's been great chatting with you. So Couchers, the Wretched album, Decay out October. Uh, I put 17th on Metal
Yep.
Blade Records. I'll put the link for pre-order and follow them on the socials so you know when they're going to be out on the road. So
Yes.
yeah,
Backslash Wretched NC, as in Wretched, North Carolina. Yeah, and I
no,
just made sure to be on the couch for you and got
yeah,
my wine. Yeah,
yeah. We are on point. We're two guys chilling on couches. So
that's how we do it.
yeah. So until next time, couchers. This is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.